Now, going over to the culture part podcast, you have a 62-year-old man assaulted by a gang of 17 boys, and it went viral. And this happened, of course, I don't know about, of course, in Staten Island. And it's sad, but we're seeing this more and more. And yeah, obviously inexcusable. I know I'm starting to, sound more and more like also like these kids these days. Like, back in my day when you were a teen, you do harmless pranks, drop fireworks in the summer, you throw water balloons at some folks. Like, didn't physically assault people, and yet we're seeing this frequency increase more and more and more. And granted, I'm not a gambling man, but I can't help but think probably not a father in the household. Statistically speaking, there probably isn't in this case, and I think that's one of the biggest cultural issues in the United States is the demise and decline of the nuclear family. Though I partially digress. Now this comes to us thanks to Colin Ruck over the X Twitter. It says, quote, new 62-year-old Staten Island man assaulted by a group of teens in a random attack during his evening walk. The man says he's walking when the group confronted him and asked him which fist he wanted to be punched with. He was then chased with across the street where he was assaulted, and he said, quote, I want to leave here. I no longer want to live here, he said during an interview after the incident. The man was sent to a hospital where he incurred $5,000 in medical bills. It was like two teens aged 13 and 14 were arrested and charged for connection to the incident. Now, I'm shocked they actually were arrested and charged. Now, the real question is, will they get the typical DA slap on the wrist? You're out of jail, nothing at all, no cash bail. They just let them out. Yeah, given the DAs these days, I can't help but think it's a high propensity that yeah, they'll probably just be out in the streets by tomorrow. Here you can see the video here. Looks like they censored the gentleman who's being attacked. I don't want to be that guy, but you'll never guess what all these young thugs are wearing. Not suits, of course. Not a single well-tailored suit. Not even a nice polo. Though, interesting enough, I don't know if they got a bulk pack of t-shirts. They look like they are wearing some of the classic Hanes white t-shirts. They also have this isn't this summer? There's someone wearing a hoodie. And part of you might feel bad for these young teens because they do not know how to, again, maybe no father at home, but they do not know how to properly utilize an invention, not as old as time, but it's been around for quite some time. The belt. Now you see one with their underwear about maybe 6 inches above their waistline of their pants, clearly indicating they have not heard of any instruction on how to utilize a belt, which is inexcusable because I'm sure there's a YouTube tutorial on it these days. Shoot, there might even be one on Rumble as well. I gotta be a 10-second demonstration, and yet they did not seek the data of how to properly put a pair of pants and a belt on. Unfortunate, but I'll get back to the video. So you can see there's 7 of them, but looks like 2 of them hit him first. So they're walking down the sidewalk. Now they're chasing him across the street. They trip him. He stumbles, doesn't fall, and then, yep, and now they all hit him. Looks like there's a gang of 7, and then one of the guys, he just stands there and watches his apparently friends do all this, which, yeah. Here. Right, he's a watch out? I don't know. Disgusting. Didn't happen years ago. It was happening with greater and greater frequency. Remember was it 2 or 3 years ago? There's a whole trend on the TikTok, a couple things, where these young kids would just go up and sucker punch someone out of the blue. Just completely disgusting. Although not too surprising, unfortunately. Went pretty viral, got 588,000 views and 8.2 thousand likes. Phantom Platypus, which A+ for unique name. That's gotta be the most unique one I've heard in a while. It says, quote, this is why everyone should conceal carry. Everyone has the right to defend themselves, unquote, getting 947 likes. Now, Colin Ruck responded saying they would have thrown him in prison and called him a racist. Getting 1.2 thousand likes, ratioing him, which, I guess I didn't say this in the video. Now, this looks like his old elderly man was white while all the teens were African American. And Colin got 1.2 thousand likes, so he ratioed that comment. And I mean, I tend to agree in this case, in that assessment, because I mean, look at Daniel Petty. He was a subway, a lot of people call him the subway hero. There's a man who's clearly not mentally fit in the subway car ranting about how he's going to attack all these women and stuff, and everyone around was getting uncomfortable. Daniel Petty did the right thing. He stood up and heard the call of duty. He subdued that thug, and the guy, unfortunately, he died. Now, in that case, that person had to be arrested also 62 times and actually beat up grandma multiple times, like punching them. That's the person who passed away because of the subway incident. And again, Daniel Petty wasn't that wasn't his intention to kill him. It was I believe they're going to, depending on how they charge him, that actually court case is coming up. But he just restrained him. So I don't think but in that case, I mean, the police actually heard about the incident. And they said, okay, hey, clearly a case of self-defense. They let him go. After the media got it and after the culture, the people found out about it, made about race, made about all these things, only then did they decide to arrest and not prosecute Daniel Petty. Now, thankfully, he's raised a couple millions of dollars in terms of fundraising to get a proper legal defense. And there's a lot of people who are supporting him because he's a former United States Marine. He's a veteran. And yet, he did the right thing. He stood up for the men and women that train and the children in that train, or subway, whatever. And they felt intimidated. This person, again, he was arrested like 60 plus times in the subway incident. And the police just let him go every single time. So that's why this guy's saying, oh, yeah, well, if you guys just had a gun, that would have helped him absolutely in the short term. However, how do you think this would play out in modern lawfare? When most district attorneys, most cities, they're not pro self-defense. Quite scary. Now, Florida man Ether said, or ETH, is that for Ethereum, whatever those funny coins are? He says, quote, if it doesn't make you want to carry a firearm every day, I don't know what will. This is the type of video that makes me want to go out to the gun range to keep improving my shooting skills. Literally disgusting display of violence, unquote, getting 400 likes. Now, Colin Rugg responded saying this man would have been thrown in prison if he tried to defend his life with the firearm. Getting 422 likes. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like that, but I did like that statement because I agree with that statement. So also agree with Florida man ETH because, again, you got to give him a right to defend yourself. And legally speaking, these thugs are coming up to him and beating him up. And again, not to talk smack about or not to pejoratively describe the older man, but on average, if you're in your 60s, these teenagers are going to be stronger physically than you. And they also outnumbered him 7 or 8 to 1. I mean, I think the United States has become so divided. I hope your average person that's on a jury would say, well, I have 7 younger or they're not gentlemen, they're scum, 7 degenerates beating me up and you're coming at me. You would, I mean, of all the scenarios that would justify self-defense, I would think that would be it. Now, that being said, I'm not sure, based on where this happened, if standard ground law is in force. There are some states where we actually have a burden to retreat, like New Jersey, where if someone breaks into your house, and I'm not kidding, this is disgusting, they can break into your house, and the burden to retreat is on you. You're not allowed to stand your ground and defend yourself and your family. You have to retreat from the actual building in that case. It's horrifying. Check it out on them internets. It's a thing. And I'm not saying you did. It's yet another reason not to live in New Jersey. Not that you needed one, but it's just ridiculous. Now, let's see if there's any. I don't think there's any contrarian comments, but we'll keep going. Yeah, Mr. Bigglesworth memes saying, though they were good boys, they didn't do nothing. Getting 8 likes. Brother Eagleman says, quote, it's a shame you'll never see this on the mainstream media. Wrong narrative. Getting 1.8 thousand likes. True. America Papa Bear says, you know, if it was a group of white kids going after a black kid, the narrative would be totally different. Yep, getting 534 likes, and based on mainstream media, and shoot, I noticed the stark difference between mainstream media and probably in college when I went to college in Iowa, but I grew up in Illinois, unfortunately, and yeah, just watching the same news channels but seeing the different coverages, it was fascinating to see the differences, just covering the same subjects and how they would phrase and they would frame things differently. It was horrifying. It was very eye-opening. Gunther Eagleman also says, get out of New York while you still can. Game 453. They got 440. Oh, wow. It went up twice. Yeah, 455 likes now. Let's see here. The statistic is a little small for me to read, but if I actually pull it up here. This is from Molly. Let's see here. Posted by a user by the name of Molly Pitcher, says, time to leave blue cities. And it's like, okay, so this is a graph, and the source is the Bureau of Justice Statistics. The camera's black in one of the words, but also says in Victimization Survey 2018, Table 14. And it says interracial violent crime incidents 2018. Black on white accounted statistically was 547,948. Black on Hispanic was 112,000 on a round. White on black was 59, well, round up 60,000. White on Hispanic was 210,000. Hispanic on white was 365,000. Hispanic on black was 45,000. Then the TV is zooming in. The smallest smallest bar there, which is white on black. That again came in at 60,000 incidents. Again, this is 2018. Again, click that subscribe button. It may very well assist my speaking ineptitudes. I have a theory. When I first started the show, I had barely any subscribers, and I spoke even worse. Yes, believe it or not, I spoke mostly monotone, spoke even faster than I do now. Yes, that's possible, believe it or not. But as I gained more and more subscribers, I have slowly but surely become more articulate. Some might argue it's just modicum improvement, but if you can click that subscribe button and tell your friends, I really appreciate it, and it'll make the show better, I believe. So again, the camera is zooming in on the small, actually, no, it's not the smallest statistic, it's the second smallest statistic, which is the white on black at 60,000. The smallest of this graph is Hispanic on black. That came in at 45,000. Again, I rounded. Now that graph got 285 likes. Now, going back to main comments, you have Kelly Kay saying Democrats caused this by encouraging violence and no consequences for bad behavior. Vote President Trump to bring back law and order. The people are finished with soft crime. BS. 334 likes. That being said, get very involved on a state level if you want to make any changes in your life. Because again, Trump could try to pass a federal law. Maybe you could pass a federal stand your ground law. That might be possible. But in terms of many of these incidents that are happening, I mean, look at the ballot box when you're voting for your district attorney or anyone in power, or your local sheriff or your local judge. I mean, those are very, very important, and not enough people do it. And again, just because it says a D or R next to the name does not mean those are the policies they represent. Because there are a lot of folks in politics who just flip once they get in the office. Especially there are a lot of rhinos, pejoratively known as Republicans in name only. So definitely make sure you know what their policies really are standing for. So, yeah, pretty heartbreaking to see this. Again, hopefully the gentleman is released for, again, $5,000. Imagine that, a $5,000 medical bill out of nowhere when most Americans billion around $1,000 in savings. That's disgusting. So hopefully there's a cultural shift where, again, I mean, one of my 3 cents used to be 2 cents, but for your hyperinflation, definitely could use some nuclear families where you actually have a father and a mother. Because again, you just look at how much better off the kids are raised. It's astonishing. And more often than not, when you see these types of activities, they come from broken homes, and it's not good for society. It's not good for them. It's not good for anyone. So hopefully there's a culture shift as we're seeing these things increase in frequency. And let me know, has this happened at a local level? Have you seen it? And what do you think it would take to actually shift the culture back to how things were when we all just treat each other like humans? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.